Hi everybody, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome back to a brand new video and welcome back to my channel. So, today we are going to do another ghost train story today. Happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. We're going to do another ghost train story today. And we are going to we're gonna actually do this one today. Do this one today. We're gonna do this one today. Okay, all right. So this is called the Hookerman. The Hookerman. The Hookerman. The Hookerman. And it takes place back in it takes place in it doesn't say what it doesn't say what year this happened, but if I had a guess, it would have happened like in the 1900s or something like that. So we're gonna put this in the 1900s. The Hookerman. Anyway, and this takes place in the state of New Jersey. This takes place in Long Valley, New Jersey. This takes place in Long Valley, New Jersey. And it takes place, like I said, I guess in the 1900s, which is what I'm gonna do. So here we go, folks. The Hookerman. The Hookerman. Long Valley, New Jersey, located on an abandoned Central Railroad of New Jersey. Railroad grade is the scene of another phantom light, said to be the ghost of a dead railroader. The light appears on a level stretch of right-of-way located between Not Right Road and Seven Bridges Road, a very isolated rural spot. The story goes back in time to the immediate post-Civil War era days when the Central Railroad of New Jersey line through Long Valley was new. It was the pioneer area of railroading when operations went on without brakes, without air brakes, and with the old-fashioned link and pin coupler. According to local folklore, a brakeman switching cars on the fly was crushed between the two boxcars. The unfortunate brakie lost his arm, lingered on for several weeks, and finally died. After the accident, a mistress light appeared along the Central Railroad, New Jersey right-of-way at frequent intervals. The lights started appearing before the phenomenon. There were electric lights. The lights started appearing before there were electric lights, or headlights, so they can't explain the phenomenon. A scientific investigation of the light theorized it was caused by an unexplained interaction between the Central Railroad New Jersey rails and a bed of quartz underlying the track. Nothing was proved, however, and no one could ever come up with a identified explanation for the phantom light. Locals have more colorful explanation of the phantom. They say it's caused by a ghost, that some folks have seen the ghost of the crushed brakeman. The brakie, known locally as the hookerman, appears as a one-armed man holding a railroad lantern walking down the tracks at the scene of the long ago accident. Folks say that the light people see is the gleam of his lantern as the hookerman looks for his long lost arm. A slightly different version of the tale explains the name hookerman. This version claims that the brakeman got drunk or fell asleep, pitched off his train, and got his hand cut off by a railroad car. His hand was replaced by a hook. Later, after the ex-brakie passed away, his ghost started revisiting the area looking for his hand. As the phantom searches in the dark, he holds a lantern in his hook. The tracks through Long Valley were removed about 10 years ago. And like the Manco light and the Mintz ghost light, the hookerman's light apparently vanished with the rails. So the hookerman still appears there, but what really happened after it appeared for a long time, it vanished. So people haven't seen it for a long time, but people still try to go out there and try to see the light again. And Long Valley, New Jersey, the abandoned Central Railroad of New Jersey, railroad grade, is still a haunted place. It's still a haunted place. Located where it's located between Nault-Wright Road and Seven Bridges Road, a very isolated rural spot. So that place is still a haunted place. It's still a haunted place, and people like to try to go out there and try to see the ghost of the hookerman. Some of them are lucky, some of them are not. Some of them are not, and some of them are lucky. But here's the picture of the train here, of what it looked like. The Central Railroad of New Jersey, right here. So if you go out there, you may or may not see him, because he vanished a long time ago. After it appeared a long time ago, he vanished. But like I said, you may or may not see him, and you can try, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work, though. So, anyway, the hookerman is a good story, I think. Okay. Now I'm going to show you guys an example from the previous TV show that they used to have a long time ago, Haunted Hotels. You'll see the story going back in time. To the 1800s or the 1900s and stuff like that. You'll see the people telling their experiences of seeing a ghost and seeing an apparition. And you'll see the apparitions and the ghosts appearing on the screen too. You'll hear, and you will also hear and see the story going back in time also. And it's going to be good. Okay? All right? And hopefully the writers and the script writers the writers and the script writers who write the documentary for the Travel Channel will put will put the episode of the Hookerman on there. Hopefully they will. Okay, when um hopefully they will put it on the Travel Channel, um um hopefully they will put it on the Travel Channel one day, and hopefully it will be a good documentary and a good hit too, okay, as everybody would say, okay? All right. Anyway, here's Haunted Hotels. Please enjoy this. And here it is.
After a hard day's travel, a charming inn can be just the place for a good night's rest. But there are some hotels that offer much more than meets the eye. In California's Gold Rush country, the ghost of a murdering gambler plays on at an historic hotel.
Your arms go cold and goosebumpy and the hair stand up.
In the American South, an horrific night in a cemetery keeps a young spirit from ever resting in peace.
You use your breath and try to scream, but nothing comes out.
And in an English coaching inn, not even death can keep a murderous spectre at bay.
He had got his revenge back. And the dead can do things like that.
Travel into a world of phantoms, where the past reaches into the present, and lost souls roam free. Sometimes the most elegant hotels are also the most troubled. Filled with lonely spectres searching for peace, haunted by history. Rice Hope Plantation Inn rests on America's southeast coast, just an hour's drive from the city of Charleston, South Carolina. This 18th century Federalist mansion by the Cooper River welcomes guests and, some say, ghosts.
It's the ghost, it's the girl. Don't you see that? And her whole face went white and she was staring.
The sense of history here goes far beyond the inn.
You come up to these gates and you look through them, and there are these huge 400-year-old live oak trees that are full of Spanish moss, and this incredible eerie feeling comes over you.
As innkeeper Lou Edens explains, part of that feeling may also come from the story of a young girl named Catherine.
Catherine's grandparents lived on this side of Rice Hope Plantation.
After her sea captain father was lost in a shipwreck, Catherine and her mother moved back to the old family home, Rice Hope Plantation.
She had led an idyllic life here. She was the center of attention, and at that time Rice Hope was over 1,700 acres.
Catherine loved the outdoors. There were trees to climb, swings to ride, and the Cooper River was full of surprises.
Catherine looked to nature for a lot of entertainment and by capturing little creatures.
Catherine caught a turtle and kept it as a pet. She could have no idea that she and her new friend would soon leave Rice Hope. Her mother was to marry a man in a distant town, and he had no interest in raising another man's child. Catherine was sent to board at the nearby school under the supervision of the schoolmaster, Mr. Dutarque, a former plantation overseer whose mere presence terrified young children. Catherine quickly became homesick, and she was unable to pay attention in school. The callous schoolmaster had no patience with Catherine's daydreaming, and punished her by forcing her to stay inside and sew. Spending the day confined indoors was a fate worse than death for Catherine. She looked to a familiar friend for comfort.
Catherine was supposed to be sewing, but instead she decided she would go outside and play with her little pet turtle.
She tried to slip away unnoticed, but she had left a clue behind.
She dropped the fabric that she's supposed to be sewing.
Mr. Dutarque realized Catherine was gone and set out after her. He found the lost fabric and followed Catherine's trail to the river's edge. The startled girl tried to explain.
She told him that she only wanted to be outside, and he went into something of a rage, shouting, "If outside is what you want, outside is what you shall have." He took her into the cemetery and lashed her onto a tombstone.
The punishment that awaited Catherine was far worse than a day without fresh air. Long ago, a young girl named Catherine reveled in her life at Ricehope Plantation. But that joy swiftly ended after she was sent to boarding school. There, she looked for solace in the natural world, but found instead her schoolmaster, Mr. Dutarque, determined to teach her a lesson. In a fury, he lashed her to a tombstone in the graveyard.
You wanted to be outside? Now you'll be outside!
The schoolmaster left, and Catherine was alone in the cemetery. Soon, night began to fall.
She knew about the creatures of the night, the bobcats. There were even bears in the Carolinas then.
What came next would make her nightmare complete. From the darkened woods, a glowing, angry face began to make its way toward her. Catherine fainted. But then, a human figure stepped from the darkness. It was not a spectre, but a slave carrying a jack-o'-lantern to light his way and to frighten off those who might report him for being out at night. As the man came across Catherine's limp body, he was shocked by what he saw. He ran for help, and Catherine was saved, but she would never find happiness again. The night in the graveyard changed her forever, and the carefree child grew into a suspicious, reclusive adult. Catherine finally died of old age, but some at the inn say she has come home again.
When I'm walking, especially upstairs down that long hall, I feel like there's somebody behind me. It's like I'm not alone.
And guests who stayed in Catherine's old room report they sometimes receive an unexpected visitor.
They had a small carry-on suitcase sitting on a stool and a few books on the same stand as the TV. Right at midnight, The books were literally thrown off of the TV stand, and the suitcase that was sitting on the stool was dumped upside down on the floor.
Perhaps Catherine's apparition was not happy about sharing the room. Or was she trying to send another message? No one can be certain. But she appears to have strong ideas about how her old home should be kept.
Guests kept talking about the door being open. And I would realize, I had closed the door. I'd even locked the door, and they'd say the door was open. So I put a door closer on it. One day I looked, and the door closer screws had been pulled out of the door facing.
Staff members believe Catherine's wishes that day came across loud and clear.
It's a message to me not to close that door. She wants to go outside in her will.
Though it would seem Catherine's spirit travels in a world without barriers, perhaps a locked door is a troubling reminder of the night she was held against her will. Former Rice Hope innkeeper Doris Kasbrak has seen firsthand what an apparent encounter with this spectre can do.
My daughter all of a sudden turned and stared at the back porch. Her whole face went white and she was staring. It's the ghost, it's the girl. She's going up the back steps, and she just went into the door. And I get goosebumps even right now just thinking about that one.
On the grounds, on the stairs, in the house, Catherine's spirit is thought to wander every corner of the plantation. The silence of the night is sometimes broken by her footsteps echoing down the halls. And guests lie awake as she passes by their doors.
She had this glow all around her, and she just flowed. She didn't walk or fly. It was definitely like a flowing.
On nights when the full moon shines, some guests at Rice Hope are met with a haunting sight. It has been over 300 years since young Catherine lived so carefree. Now, she may be making up for lost time.
She's still trying to live that normal life, that carefree life that she would have led had she not had such a traumatic incident when she was 7 years old.
Some spectres are scarred forever by a single night. But for other spirits and other places, the list of dark deeds can be almost endless.
Okay, anyway, I forgot to say, excuse me, I forgot to say that Ghost Train, when it gets on the Travel Channel, it has to have exactly what it looked like on Haunted Hotels. It has to have the apparitions and the ghosts and the spirits appearing on the screen. And it has to have people sharing their experiences when they saw the ghost, when they saw when they saw the apparition of the hookerman, and when they saw the ghost appear to them too. and it has to have the story going back in time to Civil War days, It was the pioneer area of railroading when operations went on without air brakes and with the old-fashioned link and Pierre-Crumpler. According to local folklore, Braitman switching cars on the fly was crushed between two boxcars. The unfortunate breaker lost his arm, lingered on for several weeks, and finally died. After the accident, a Mistress Light appeared. His ghost, after he died, started to come back and haunt the tracks and haunt the scene of his death. And as he searches for his long lost arm, there's the picture of his house, New Jersey Station in Long Valley, New Jersey, home of the Hookerman. That's where he lived. That's where the Hookerman lived. He comes back to haunt the house, and he comes back to haunt the tracks too. The show has to have the TV show Ghost Train. The TV show Ghost Train has to have the story going back in time, and the apparition of the Hookerman's ghost appearing on the screen, and also people sharing their experiences like you saw on Haunted Hotels. Okay, you saw that. Did you see of how the stories going back in time on Haunted Hotels were appearing? Did you see that? Well, that's what Ghost Train has to do. That's what the TV show Ghost Train and the episode and the episode of the Hookerman has to do too. Okay, all right. So be sure that you include this episode of the Hookerman, and don't forget to put the title of the show, Ghost Train, Ghost Train on there. Okay, all right. Put the name of the episode, the Hookerman, and put the title of the show, what the show is going to be called. Call it Ghost Train. Okay, all right. This book is written by Tony Reevy, and he's the one that wrote the book here. And hopefully if they get a script writer or a documentary writer for the Travel Channel, and a producer and a director for the show, it will be on the Travel Channel, okay? But it's not yet though, but it will be, okay? All right? As soon as they can find somebody to do the show, okay? All right? First, the documentary and the stories have to be written by a documentary writer and a Travel Channel writer too, okay? And also they got to find a producer, they got to find a director and stuff like that, and then lo and behold, it will be a documentary on the Travel Channel, okay? All right? So, I'm going to post this on Instagram and to the Travel Channel company and see what they think and see what you guys think too. And And I'm also going to post this on YouTube, okay? All right? So give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell. And I will see you guys later for my next vlog, for my next ghost train story in my next video, okay? Okay, bye everybody. Bye.